is in the know for Tuesday, April 28th, the 119th day of 2020. There are 247 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105. On Litchfield's Country Station 103.9 The Moose, live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud or iTunes podcast, on Facebook Watch, on YouTube Live, on Periscope, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we will update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. We've got briefings from yesterday at the state and county level, and we'll also just check on everyone, see how we're doing. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
T-shirt travel continues today.
Yeah. Do you want to see the back of it?
I think everyone would like to see the back of it.
Right,
I know what the
so
back of it is.
What does the front
So
say?
Grayson County Cougar Marching Band,
All
leave a
right.
legacy. That's right.
I'm not sure which way I'm supposed to go with the camera.
Either way, we'll get it. Just there you go. And it's the Steampunk Show.
Yep.
From the show a few years ago. And the reason that it's timely, thanks for showing us, one of the reasons that it's timely is because the Cougar Marching Band just released their name of their show for next season, and it's about paths. It's about pathways that we can go to. And so that's very timely right now since we're talking about T-shirt travel. So we can kind of like play along the path to, who knows, like, the places we'll go. She's the pride of Pumpkin Center, the heiress to the great mini burger fortune. She's Vera Wang's arch nemesis and the professional bargain hunter's woman of the year. She's Misty Embry Thomas.
Hey.
How's Misty? 2 thumbs up.
I'm healthy.
You're going to be hot by the middle of the afternoon.
I'll be home by then.
I mean, you're going to be warm because you're wearing
like,
a long.
I'm gonna shed that.
Is that a sweater or a coat? I first
No, it's
saw
actually
it. It was
really thin.
It is.
Yeah,
okay.
it's like for
breathable.
spring.
It wicks. Okay.
Well,
it
and
looks
you
heavy.
will see it again because when she's
She'll
finished
own
with
it.
it,
You're going to get it.
Yep.
Anything green that I bring in, she's like, "That's mine when you're done."
your first level hand me down. I got it. Very good.
Yeah.
Misty, a few weeks ago, you toyed with the idea of swapping out some of the photographs in your home to see who might notice.
Sure.
Remember
Yep.
when you talked about that? Said you'd like to put different people in the photo frames just to see if anyone was paying attention to what happened. Well, I don't believe you ever did that because I didn't get a follow-up report.
Well, here's the thing. What I'd like to do is print off and put lots of photos of the person who's visiting. Right?
To see if they notice.
And see if they notice, like, why this is creepy. Why do you have pictures of my family everywhere? Because you can pull them off Facebook and print them. But we're not allowed to have visitors right now, so I've not been able to pull my prank.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
that would be
a
fun.
woman who was bored on lockdown pulled a hilarious prank on her family. She swapped out pictures. She took Crayola pictures that she had drawn of the portraits on the walls. You'll see them if you're watching. And so she used, and it took 11 days for anyone to notice. She swapped out most all of the portraits that were
That's
hanging on the
awesome.
wall
Those are great.
and made Crayola versions of them and hung them on the walls. And it took 11 days for anyone, including her, I think her in-laws were there, maybe her, there was some extended family quarantining with them in the home, and none of them noticed for 11 days. So
It's funny how you just get used to your, muscle memory. You don't pay attention anymore.
that's right. You
Yeah.
just, for those of you that don't know, it's funny, I had not prepared to tell this at all. But if you have watched Modern Family, or if you watched Modern Family, it recently came to an end. There was a running gag on that show that Phil Dunphy, Ty Burrell, that he ad-libbed into an early episode, and it's about a creaky step. It's a step midway up their staircase, and every time he crosses it, he nearly trips, and he says, "Got to fix that." Okay, so it's a reminder to himself, but it went on for 11 years.
Right.
Oh, I got to fix that every time
Right.
he crosses it. We have a janky door handle on one of our entryway doors, and every time we go to open it, and I say to myself, I got to fix that, and it just reminds me of Phil Dunphy.
Right.
and
you
doing that.
use the door handle. It's terrible.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not
No,
good.
we
It's
have
not-
some of those things in our world, and
it's
I'm like,
not
tomorrow,
The
you and
problem
me
is
tomorrow.
if I use that door every day, it would get fixed. But I use
You
it so
don't.
rarely, it's like I don't think anything about it.
Yeah.
And then I go, oh, got to fix that. Gust over 30 miles per hour of wind expected through early tomorrow, starting this evening through early tomorrow. Radar will show spotty showers at times on this Tuesday, but most of what will fall will be sprinkles. A strong south wind will help push us well into the 70s this afternoon. It'll be a warm and windy evening and overnight period. A band of weakening thunderstorms will come at us from the west in the overnight hours, around 1 o'clock or so. We'll see Wednesday shaping up to be an active day with some early rain, thunder, and wind. So sprinkle and breezy today, 77. Rain chance of 70% tonight with a low of 65. Thunderstorms tomorrow, and 67 is the high. I didn't mention it yesterday, but, this is supposed to be Derby week. So they should have done the post draw today. They should have and I can't decide. Do I still make Derby pie this weekend?
Yes, you make Derby pie,
do?
and then you deliver it
Maybe
into my
for
secret
her, but
stash.
I
You're
want
gonna
the
have to
other
leave the nuts
stuff.
off of it unless you're wanting to kill me over the weekend,
Yeah.
which could be a plot you have. But
No, I
I'm aware
don't.
of,
But is there a tree nut substitute that you can have that would replicate the pecans?
a
or the
true
walnuts?
story. I did see a recipe just yesterday where a local lady used her grandmother's old recipe. It's called Poor Man's Pecan Pie, and they used mashed up pinto beans and then all the sugar and the coconut.
All right, so mashed
never
up
heard of that.
pinto beans, like
Instead
prior
of
to be
pecans.
cooked,
Not mushy, right?
not mushy.
No, like mushy, like leftover pinto beans, and then you mash them up like you would potatoes. Yeah, that was the recipe in the pie. But I've heard a lot of like
that's-
old recipes. I'd never heard that one. It's called Poor Man's Pecan Pie. Now, I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that was a recipe that they use. So when you ask, is there a substitute? Yeah, pinto beans have been used
Much
for
like
pecans.
much like we're about to talk about with masks. I'm not going to say never would I have to have poor man's pecan pie, but if you see me eating poor man's pecan pie, we probably long ago stopped talking.
I live in a field, and I'll never go hungry again.
I think
That's where you are
I
in
think
life.
poor man's pecan pie for me would be a byproduct of us not meeting every day.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to say never. I'm just going to say if it comes to that,
The Donald Bucks ran dry.
there's big trouble.
I didn't get any more Donald Bucks.
Governor Beshear says people entering businesses will need to wear a mask beginning May 11th. He says that there are 4,146 COVID-19 victims in Kentucky. Yesterday, he said everyone going out in public will be asked to wear a mask beginning May 11th and lasting until a coronavirus vaccine is developed. The governor said anyone out in public without a mask will not be cited, but will be asked to put a mask on. For business employees, though, wearing a mask will be mandatory, and businesses not complying could be grounds for temporarily closing the business. Businesses may also refuse to serve anyone not wearing a mask.
So this is where we are. It's not. So here's my question.
Okay.
Can I stop wearing the shoes and shirt if I got to wear the mask?
So just the mask.
Because that's been the long-standing rule: no shoes, no shirt, no service.
Yeah,
Right?
I'll be interested
So I
to
can go without
see.
shoes
But I gotta
or
wear them.
I'll
shirt.
be interested to see if
just the
that
mask.
sticks.
I think it's gonna be hard to do.
Well, so here in my mind, here's what they're appealing to. Wearing a mask really doesn't do anything for me. It sends a message to you that I'm okay.
And that
That's-
I'm trying to help and protect you.
Okay, so we're the center of our own universe. So when we go out, we want to see everyone else wearing a mask, but we don't want to have to. So my point is this, is that the mask has some byproducts of helping you, although you'll see some people say that if you run into the virus, it gets hung in the cloth, and if you don't clean your mask, then it's a carrier of et cetera, et cetera. I think it's just more of a way of allaying fears and anxiety to the people who are out and about. That's what I think that this move is that it's trying to appeal to our core to say it's safe to go out. Everyone's wearing a mask. But I'll just tell you, I'm extremely stubborn to this idea.
See, I see it as protective. Like if it is airborne and it is coming through bodily fluids, if you cover that up, then you're not spraying that everywhere you go. It's caught on the inside of your mask and not spreading. And
Right.
then you're protecting. But I think you also have to protect your eyes. So if you're going to make people wear masks, then they need to be protecting their eyes as well. So, which says to me, they're not trying to protect you from getting it. They're trying to protect you from spreading it.
Yes, and that's what I mean. It's we're trying to say to the others that we interact with, I'm okay, I'm not going to harm you, because that's where the fear is. We've been talking for the last couple of weeks. When we're free to go out, will we go out? Well, I don't know. There's going to be other people out there, and I might catch something from them. But if they're wearing a mask, somehow that appeals to my psyche that, oh, it must be more safe for me to go out because everyone's wearing a mask. But
I think they have to do something, and this was an obvious. Now, here's where you're going to get into: are you going to supply everybody with a mask?
he said yes. He said they'll supply everyone with a mask. How it gets to you and when, I don't know.
I'd like
but-
to have one that has a much more, those painted. If you can paint things on it, have you
Oh,
seen
yeah.
those? Yeah,
Like,
Sure.
they're more cupped.
yeah. I'm gonna want something that has a little less wrinkles through
Well,
here.
I don't go anywhere, so
here's what I'm going to tell our audience. We have been working in a very successful closed loop for a month. You'll not see us wearing masks on this show. I'm just telling you, on this show, we
No,
have
I think
enough of a
this-
closed loop, and we have a protected cocoon that we're operating in because we're a business. Remember, that's what he said, businesses. And on this show and any other video shows that you see us on where we're doing the closed loop and controlling access, there's no sense if here we go. This is my mask.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
true. We have our own.
This is what this is. And so if I use my own and you use your own and you use your own, and anybody who comes in this studio has their own, there's no reason for us to wear a mask while we do this show. So the optics of it is, look, they're not wearing masks. Well, we don't have to because we've controlled the environment.
We are peas in a pod, and our pod is closed.
well, and it's
We're
preventative.
protective.
I mean, it is.
But I'm thinking mask like you go out to the grocery, which I'm already wearing. If I go to the grocery, I have a mask.
Thank you, grocery pickup.
Amen.
Well, that's the problem, though. To get a date and then get everything on your list has been very restricted.
oh, you have to start early.
yeah,
it
that's what
has
I'm saying.
required
If
some-
you don't plan ahead, that's hard to do.
If delivery and pickup will get back to normal, I can operate
In the
mask
pod.
free. In the pod and mask free. I get in my cocoon of my vehicle.
See, I'm even
Right.
green like a pea today.
It is funny how I found myself at a register cashing out.
Yeah.
That when I respond, I'll look slightly this way, even if there's a plexiglass shield.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, just change your sight lines. Just try to stay as distant as possible. Listen, I got this. I can do this. You got your fingers crossed. All right. He does hint
Fingers
at
open.
businesses reopening in May, but in stages. Here was the most concerning thing that I heard yesterday, is that on May 11th, he basically said that we're going to start the 4-week process to the federal guideline of phase 1. So, okay,
What?
wait a minute. So,
I didn't
let's
listen
see.
yesterday.
Let's see, today
Nor
is,
did I.
and then May 11th. So
And I'm
that's
already
2 weeks
tired.
that's 2 weeks from yesterday. 2 weeks from yesterday, we'll start a 4-week countdown to get to phase 1 of the federal guidelines. So really what you're saying is 6 more weeks of this. Are you a groundhog?
Right?
You said 6 more weeks of quarantine. Is that what you said?
Shadow already.
Will it stick? I think in Louisville and Lexington, I think you're going to see a lot of mask wearing. I
Sure.
just think that you're going to. I think out here in God's country where we enjoy it so much,
Where the hills are alive with corona. I'm out here. There's nobody around me.
Judge Henderson reported yesterday. He said if there's such a thing as a good day during a coronavirus, yesterday was one. I think there's a good chance, speaking of one new case that was announced, and it was someone who works outside the county but lives in Grayson County, someone who worked for Purdue in Butler County. That brings us to a total of 61. 43-year-old woman is the new person who tested positive, again, an employee of Purdue in Butler County. And again, we mentioned that that'll be 61 in total. Still 75% of those are connected to Grayson Nursing and Rehab. That's 33 residents and 13 employees. We have to remember that testing processes change a little bit over the weekend. So your Saturday tests that are administered take a couple of days to get back. Even your Friday tests that are administered probably aren't processed on Saturday and Sunday. So Judge Henderson mentioned and Governor Beshear mentioned yesterday that we hope that it's just not the weekend impact that our numbers were lower, because Kentucky's number was lower than normal as well. So we hope we're going in the right direction, but we need to monitor today and tomorrow to see if that number jumps back up significantly. But I think most people are in agreement that we have plateaued. Judge Henderson also mentioned Grayson County road projects are suspended indefinitely just because of revenue concerns and just kind of coming to a halt until we can figure out what's happening, including the Watson School Road Bridge that was closed by the state. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet has been working on the Parkway in the last few days, doing some projects. So I don't know if the 1214 project is still underway or not. It was, I know, this time last week. So yeah, Judge Henderson did mention yesterday the Army Corps of Engineers has managed state park campgrounds closed at least through May 31st. Lots of congregating in the campgrounds. They turn into communities. And the people that like to camp together, they gather around. So there's a the fact that it's May 31. By the way, if your campground reservation has not been canceled already for the month of May, it will be.
Today's the day to do that.
It's gonna happen. But you'll notice they didn't close them until May the 28th. Or May the 27th, they closed them through May the 31st, which is basically traded in Memorial Day weekend to try and maybe Independence Day weekend. They're saying we will forego Memorial Day, and it's not that people don't camp a lot every weekend. They do. But Memorial Day is the weekend that everyone wants to camp and everyone wants to stop by the campground and this and this and this. So to do that soon, they're saying let's forego Memorial Day to try and save Independence Day and Labor Day and the rest of the summer.
I think it's the communal bathrooms is really
If you
So if you could maybe shut down the communal bathrooms, you may be able to put camping back on
so
the map,
we'll just go in the lake.
you
the campers should have.
That's true.
Have you ever been in one?
Yeah, they're actually really nice. The state parks redid all of those a few years ago.
Health officials are readying new guidelines as restrictions ease. Businesses should close break rooms. Restaurants should consider disposable menus and plates. Schools should have students eat their lunch in their classrooms. These are some of the recommendations offered in a new federal plan designed to help restaurants, schools, churches, and businesses safely reopen. The CDC put together so-called decision trees for at least 7 types of organizations: schools, camps, childcare centers, religious facilities, mass transit, workplaces, and bars, restaurants. So we're starting to get a peek of what our new normal may look like. It says in the initial reopening phases, schools should space desks 6 feet apart, nix any field trips and school assemblies, have students eat lunch in their classrooms instead of the cafeteria. Churches should hold services through streaming or at drive-in or outdoor venues as much as possible. Restaurants should consider using throwaway menus, single-service condiments, disposable forks, knives, spoons, dishes. Those are all going to be part of the new normal that we will see, that I think will never go back to the way they were on March the 13th.
Which is interesting because we were trying to undo all of the use of all the plastic and disposable things.
Right. Sorry, turtles.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that kind of what it will say? Well, all right, we were going to try and take care of the turtles and the birds, but we're going to need to change that. So we got to get to a break. Plenty more on the way. Hang around here on In the Know.
Did you know that experts estimate that 80 to 90% of disease is stress-related? Massage can help by lowering your blood pressure, increasing circulation, reducing fatigue, and increasing energy. Call Renee Smith at 270-505-5463 to set up your appointment for a therapeutic massage today. Renee also offers gift certificates and is conveniently located on Elizabethtown Road in Litchfield. 270-505-5463.
At Litchfield Pediatrics, we don't just love our community, we love yours too. Now offering telehealth appointments for visits for mental health such as ADHD or depression, and for visits that do not require a physical exam such as rashes or pink eye. If parents have questions about what is eligible for telehealth, call Litchfield Pediatrics at 270-259-5641.
The tax preparation team at Buckles, Travis & Hart have stepped away to work from home for a couple of weeks to mitigate risk to our families, coworkers, and clients. The rest of the team continues to work on payroll taxes, and sales taxes for our invaluable clients. We will continue to evaluate our restrictions and begin the resumption of full service with those in mind on May 1st. Thanks to all our customers for your understanding, cooperation, and patience during this season. From the team at Buckles, Travis & Hart, GraysonCPAs.com.
Hello, I'm Kevin Henderson, Grayson County Judge Executive. You don't need to be an inventor, a scientist, or a judge executive to shape the future of your community. You just need to be someone who cares about your community. By being counted in the 2020 census, you will help inform funding for local school programs, emergency services, and roads in our community. We all count. Shape your future. Start here. Visit 2020census.gov.
Your choice of lifestyle directly affects your health. And while there are many complex factors surrounding your lifestyle, sometimes the simple truth is that you just need to feel better. Well, rest assured, your feel better starts right here at Midway Pharmacy. We take our time to get to know you and your lifestyle so we can provide sound advice on ways to improve your overall health. So whether your goal is to maintain a healthy lifestyle or overcome that untimely sickness, remember, at Midway Pharmacy.
I'm Kevin Brooks with Future Design Building Material. These are challenging times we're facing, and with so much uncertainty, it's natural to be concerned. We know that the health and wellness of your family is most important. To work through these challenges together, we are offering new services to help. You can now call in orders and we'll deliver them curbside. We'll even deliver to your front door if that's what you need. Going forward, we'll continue to adapt to the changing conditions to continue to serve. We're all in this together. Call 270-259-9311 or go to fdbm.net and tell Future Design Building Materials how we can help you.
Mostly rave reviews for Google's new Pixel Buds. Audio earpieces are now fully wireless, have improved sound quality, and are the first truly wireless earbuds to offer hands-free Google Assistant voice controls. The touch controls are pretty easy to master, and comfort is good. The original version of Pixel Buds, released a couple of years ago, got mostly bad reviews, so Google has fixed its issues. Buds can be ordered now and cost $179. TikTok will now let you donate that money you're making off your dance videos. Creators can add donation stickers to their videos and live streams in order to raise funds for charities including the CDC Foundation, Meals on Wheels, and Music Cares. YouTube is stepping in to help some of the big film festivals. We Are One, a global film festival, will feature programming from some of the top film festivals around the world, including Cannes, Sundance, and Venice. The online festival is set to begin at the end of May, with the programming being free to watch and will include feature films, shorts, documentaries, music, comedy, and panel discussions. Tech Report, Larry Olson, NBC.
Today is National Superhero Day.
Oh. Wow.
Just because, by the way, as a public service announcement, just because you try and wear your underwear on the outside of your clothes does not make you a superhero.
But I do would like for all of you to try today, just in case, just in case your natural ability comes through. Unless
well,
it's invisible.
Need to clarify because there is a comment section.
Pictures welcome.
Yeah. It's Clean Comedy Day today.
Yeah, keep it clean.
Yep. That's one of the reasons I like Jerry Seinfeld and Brian Regan so much, because they don't feel the need to have to be blue to be funny.
You know, Bob Saget is the worst, which hurts my heart because he was on the most family-friendly show in the 80s, 90s.
It was a very filtered version of Bob Saget.
Yeah.
And Blueberry Pie Day today. Blueberry pie.
I'm not a lover of the blueberry. I eat them because they're good for you. But
Right. Nor am I. Anna loves them, but I just kind of go,
They're a little bit tart. They're okay, but they're not my favorite. We're not best friends by any means.
This is the year 2020. I don't know if any of you have realized, but and we've spent a significant portion of it worrying about rather than enjoying the fact that it's 2020. So I wanted to reminisce a little bit. Here's some things that are hard to believe happened 20 years ago. Back to the year 2000.
Ooh.
The millennium. The original X-Men movie was released, cementing Hugh Jackman as a Hollywood A-lister. Faith Hill's Breathe was Billboard's top song of the year. The Nokia 3390 cell phone hit the market, and everyone had to have one.
I had a yellow one. No, I had a
had one.
turquoise one, and Jason had a yellow one.
I think mine was gray or black.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt, listen, 20 years ago, Brad Pitt was named People's Sexiest Man Alive for the second time.
Oh, yeah. That stinks when you get it
So
twice.
he already had
Right.
two
Well, and
20 years ago.
I'm not sure he couldn't do it again.
Just saying, three-peat.
Just ask Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci would vote for him.
Celebrity IOU. I mean,
The
he's still
Sims,
hot.
the Sims video game had everyone creating fake families on their computers.
Yeah. It's where my kids lived, their
Well,
best life.
one of my best friends, she did it like for hours on end.
Yep. My kids still do.
Well, and 10 years ago, people were just doing the same thing with Farmville.
Which I harvested the most pumpkins. Thank you.
NSYNC was the biggest boy band in the world, selling 9.9 million copies of their No Strings Attached album
Lance Bass got away
before
from me.
the end of the year. 20 years ago, a sometimes naked Richard Hatch won the first season of Survivor, which is the highest rated show of the year.
Still never seen it.
It was 20 years ago that Maude Flanders, the wife of Ned and neighbor to Homer and Marge, was killed off on The Simpsons.
Oh.
I
didn't
don't know
even-
this episode, but that's funny to me because I know exactly who they are.
Sure. IBM became the first to sell USB flash drives in the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
Back when we weren't sure whether to call them flash drives, thumb drives, jump drives, memory sticks, or USB keys.
And at my house, we call them junk drives.
Junk drives.
Put your junk on that.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas was the biggest movie of the year, making $260 million in the United States.
Still awesome.
And 20 years ago, jury duty, pink slip, pink slip. Heinz, the Grinch. Heinz introduced purple and green colored ketchup into their Easy Squirt line of kid-friendly nozzled bottles.
Yeah, how'd that turn out for you?
Ew, it just looked terrible. And 20 years ago is also the last time it was cool to write Y2K.
Yeah.
Remember, we all survived Y2K. Well, I suppose.
Eli the Thomas was born in 2020
Survived.
or in 2000.
Really? He's a millennium baby?
He is.
Yeah, I guess that would make sense.
He would have been a 99 baby if he'd have come 6 days earlier, and he and his sister would have both been born in 99.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
your baby's
My
Very
tax
close together.
return would have been sweet that year if you could have
Come on,
just hurried
baby.
up, baby.
Get on outta here.
You all thought you were empty nesters, and then you turned back into
Rona to ya.
full nesters, and now you're what, partial nesters?
I don't
You
know
got
that
kids
they're
scattering
old.
out various places. It's interesting that it will be interesting to see long term how the kids who were 3, 4, 5, even the kids who are 7, 8, 9, school year aside, I think there are some byproducts. I think there's some things we're going to learn a lot about the world that are going to help us. There are some parents talking about that kids right now, after this 7-week pause, are happier than ever.
I can see that.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
they didn't have a chance to be present at home.
Yeah.
It was running to music, running to gymnastics, get home, do homework, go to bed,
There was no
get
rest.
your shoes on, go here, go there. And this has given everyone an opportunity to
Enjoy each other.
Well, and so we've talked about before on the show, especially you, like basic skills.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have the opportunity to teach our kids at home basic skills.
Well, what's interesting is we are now having to teach our children all those things because there's nobody else to fill in for us. There's no teachers, there's no coaches, there aren't,
Right.
there aren't these mentors that we're used to leaving them with. And in all honesty, I'll speak from my parenting experience over the years. It was like, okay, that's going to be somebody else's responsibility. I'm exhausted right now with the idea of having to teach you something else.
they
don't have
are
that right now.
they are less busy. They have more control over their time.
Mm-hmm.
They are sleeping better. They are seeing more of their parents. They are playing more alone or with their siblings, and they're feeling better for it. And there are a large number of children living with financial insecurity and grief. No sane person would expect kids to be feeling better in those circumstances, but still the rise of happiness in the families lucky enough to be experiencing it is notable. Kids are getting to slow down. Kids have been thrown from very adult organized life into one where there's a much bigger stretch of unstructured time. It has helped with anxiety in kids. Also because of the lack of school, where school has become more achievement focused, recess and opportunities for creative play have shrunk because of the demands on the education system. And you'll even see some parents who say, before, my kids couldn't or wouldn't do anything without me. They couldn't even get a cup of water. But now there seems to be this newfound feeling that we don't need mom overseeing everything that we do. That creative space of kids, those imaginations, have been allowed to flourish during this time because they're not being pulled back and forth here and there and the demands of this, that, and the other. So there are benefits. There are things to look forward to in kids and really everyone who went through this to kind of recapture and go, you know, balance is extremely important. Let's try to get back to something more centered that we can say, all right, I'm out of kilter because I'm too much over here with work and I'm this. Me personally, I've found more time to cook. You know, I've found more time to just do things that I can say, oh, I'm going to do this and share it with this person. I'm going to do that and prepare this and actually have time rather than feeling rushed. I need to make this for that, or I said I would cook this weekend or whatever it is. It's just kind of all right, I have more time because I don't have to run to this meeting and I don't have to run to that and here and there. And it's just been the uncertainty and the unknown, and clearly sometimes the negativity from society is rough. But if you can stay in this cocoon that we're talking about, right? If you can just get in your own space and focus and be centered, it's been better.
I will be interested in 5 years to look back and look at how many kids are homeschooled now because they realize they like this environment better, and how many households went from 2 to 1 income because they realized they wanted to be home when their children were younger and provide that homeschooling.
Yeah, I would be interested as well. Yeah.
There's a cost to everything. There's a cost to picking up a second income. There's a cost to having to have a second income. Life circumstance just dictates that. Some people, they have no choice but to do that. But sometimes sometimes you have to give up something to get something, and you go, oh, I was able to get this as a result. So yeah, it's a neat hypothesis to see the weird ways that we will have
when you're forced
changed
into having, you know, everybody home and living that structured life that was very Little House on the Prairie, you know, in the 1800s. Who emerges going, we actually like that better, or hey, we're ready to put the kids to work too. You get out of school, you go to work, don't come home.
Speaking of kids,
we'll see that it'll kind of be both sides of it, right? How many divorces come out, right?
In China, they have resumed more of their normal, like they have sent pupils, they've sent students back to school in China to try and finish up some of their, whether it's year-round school. Kids have been impossible to keep off of one another during they don't understand social distancing,
right?
You know, you can't get them to not eat something dirty off the floor. Don't eat that. Don't touch that. Don't slobber on this. Don't do that. Pupils in Eastern China wore 3-foot hats to help keep a safe distance from others.
Love it.
So they put this headgear on them with wings. They look like.
Can we get this?
What was the Flying Nun?
Amazon?
Yes.
Sally Field in The Flying Nun. The headgear that she wore, it looks kind of like that, only the flaps of the wings are down.
That's fantastic.
Thought that was a neat story. I also liked the 6-year-old in Canada who his parents or someone bought him his parents bought him a friendly joke book about 6 months ago. The parents decided during the quarantine or sheltering in place that he needed a new audience. So instead of a lemonade stand, he set up a drive-through or walk-by joke stand. And it's free of charge. You just walk by his table, and he tells you a joke. I'm thinking a future comedian, right? He's honing his skills at an early age. I liked it a lot. And then there's a home in Florida, in Palm Coast, Florida, that had a welcome mat out for law enforcement, and the welcome mat said, "Come back with a warrant."
Oh, okay.
And so they did.
Listen, I got to tell you, if you sent, there was a phase in life that I would appreciate the mask, that my nose grew before anything else on my body, acne, braces, middle school years, if you could have made me wear a mask. Perfect.
Yeah.
I would appreciate it having to wear a mask every day.
Sounds good. We're going to get to a break. We'll come back. Got plenty more on the way. Hang around here on In the Know.
Tax season is underway, and so are IRS scams. Hi, I'm Rihanna Smith Hamblin with the Better Business Bureau. Scammers are pretending to be the IRS, saying you owe back taxes, and they're demanding payment over the phone with prepaid debit cards or wire transfer. If you don't comply, the scammer threatens you with fines and an arrest. Another version claims you're getting a tax refund, and scammers ask you for personal information. If you get calls like these, hang up the phone. For more tips, go to bbb.org.
Wash your hands, stay home, cover your cough. It's our new reality with COVID-19. Physicians and public health professionals are trying to protect us because our healthcare system would be overwhelmed if too many people get seriously ill. We have to take their advice seriously. So, prepare, focus on the essentials. Protect, keep some space from people outside your home. And disinfect, a lot. Get the facts at kycovid19.ky.gov. Prepare, protect, disinfect.
The best football teams always get the call right, and you need to make the right call before you excavate. If you don't and you damage a natural gas line, the Kentucky Public Service Commission will investigate, and you could be fined up to $1,250. So make the right call. Put safety first. Call 811 before you dig.
Touchdown! Oh my goodness!
This message brought to you by the Kentucky Public Service Commission.
The federal government provides $150 billion a year to make higher education possible for anyone. Completing the free application for federal student aid, known as the FAFSA, is the first step to getting your share. But an estimated $40 million in financial aid is left on the table each year by Kentucky students. Don't let that happen to you.
Fill out the new and improved FAFSA today. Visit knowhowtogoky.org and join the conversation on Twitter, #KnowHowToPayKY. This message is brought to you by the Pritchard Committee Student Voice Team and the Council on Post-Secondary Education.
Before the awards, before the packed house and busy kitchen on a Friday night, before I owned 7 restaurants, there were early mornings, late nights, researching, writing, debating, all ingredients of a recipe that prepared me to push further beyond where I thought I could ever go. I'm Lita Michael, champion of Kentucky cuisine, and the opportunities I had at the University of Kentucky made my culinary and business aspirations wildly possible. Find your possible at uky.edu.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Twin Lakes weather. We'll see more sunshine for the second half of the day. That sunshine plus wind coming out of the southwest will help to push your highs into the mid to upper 70s this afternoon. Tonight we'll see more clouds rolling in as some rain starts to approach the region. From the Wave 3 News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrews.
Johnny was a schoolboy when he heard his first Beatles song. Love me do, I think it was, and from there it didn't take him long.
Did you know melting an ice cube in your mouth burns 2.3 calories?
Are you serious?
That's what it says. So, is that a green light to crunch ice?
No.
It is not.
It says melt, not crunch.
Okay, so you just got to hold it in your mouth and let it melt by itself, and that'll burn 2.3 calories. I think I can still do that.
Let me give you a little. Those who suffer with anxiety, if you will take a piece of ice and hold it in your hand, your anxiety will dissolve because when your hand starts to feel the burn, your mind shifts and refocuses on that going on in your hand.
Okay, I buy that.
Yeah.
You know why? You know why I buy that? Is because a lot of times a person says, my foot hurts. And I'll say, if I punch you in the nose, your foot will stop hurting. Yeah. And so, but they don't oftentimes want to do that. They don't want to take me up on that and be like, oh yeah, punch me in the nose so my foot will stop hurting.
So if you're, let me say that if your panic is fear-based, there's many reasons.
Right.
If it's hormonal imbalance, that's not going to do anything for you. But if it's fear-based, your mind will reshift and focus on that piece of ice.
For some reason, I just thought a little bit of the person that has their head in an oven sitting on a block of ice.
Yeah.
Their average temperature is somewhere around their rib cage.
Wait.
Is that not scientific?
The things where your mind goes is concerning for me.
That's okay.
Head in the oven. What?
Dr. Anthony Fauci says Brad Pitt did a great job portraying him on Saturday Night Live.
Brad Pitt does a good job doing anything Brad Pitt does.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I think he did great. I mean, I'm a great fan of Brad Pitt, and that's the reason why when people ask me who I would like to play me, I mentioned Brad Pitt. He's one of my favorite actors. I think he did a good job. I think he showed that he is a really class guy, and when at the end he took off his hair and thanked me and all of the healthcare workers.
Yeah.
So not only is he a really great actor, but he is also actually a really classy person. So good for him. That's what I said yesterday. I said that was nice of him to give the honor to the healthcare workers. The Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, if you manage to not spend $7 on it to rent it on direct ticket, if you were able to be more patient than me, you'll be able to watch the Rise of Skywalker and all 9 Skywalker saga films plus Rogue One, a Star Wars story, beginning May 4th on Disney+.
So there are 10 total.
The Rogue One is an outlier. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, is in the same universe and space as Star Wars, as the Skywalker saga, but it is not in the saga. There are 9 movies in the Skywalker saga. The Rise of Skywalker is the 9th. You'll be able to start at the beginning, go to the end, plus pick up the bonus Rogue One starting May 4th on Disney+. So you just pay the subscription and you get access to all of them. Miss Thomas, this would be a great time for you to get on board.
I'm trying to figure out, I have 3 more weeks before school starts. Do I want to invest 20 hours into becoming part of the Star Wars, or do I want to continue to be an anomaly over here of I've never seen any of them?
I saw one head shake a moment ago this way, and so I immediately started shaking this way. Yes, you do want to spend that time. What else do you have to do? You'll never again have this much time.
Sleep.
I
could sleep. I could learn to knit.
I mean, it's not terrible.
I will knit you a mask.
I know you well enough, and I know myself. I mean, it's not terrible.
I'm still working.
If you
through
were
Madam
ever going to do it now.
Get it over with.
But I promised him that I would, and I did.
Is this like having the chicken pox when we were little? There was no vaccine, so every kid had to have them. So you go ahead and expose the whole family, get the misery out of the way.
Pretty much.
This is my adult
Very
chicken
similar.
pox?
So people will stop asking.
Yeah. Yes. Do I get a T-shirt at the end? You have to buy me a really cool T-shirt at the end that says
I got
Star
some.
Wars on board. No, I want my own.
Think, Misty.
And I like a
You'll
raglan.
never again have to defend your position when someone says, you've seen Star Wars, right?
You know what I'm
And you say no,
terrified
and
of.
person goes, what?
And I'll tell you, that is kind of important. I mean, so
What,
now
the
I
T-shirt
can say,
or being able to have the bragging rights?
being able to say, have the bragging rights. So,
okay.
yes, I've watched. But I promised him, and I did it. and
I'll
I can
negotiate.
say-
I'll watch the first 2 movies. I want BLT dip. When I get to movie 4, I need a T-shirt. If I get to 9, I get a day off work. Right? It's on the table, my friend. You think about it.
Wow, let's see. So how much do I want you to? I may get more mileage out of you not seeing them. I got to really determine what's more important to me.
I'll share the BLT dip.
My
How's that?
ability to criticize you because you've not seen all any of the Star Wars movies.
You know, my real fear is that I like the dang things.
Oh,
And then I'll become some kind of like Star Wars. What do they call them? What are you called? You're not a Trekkie. So what are you?
You're normal.
No, there's got to be another word.
You're like 98% of the rest of the planet in seeing them. Misty, you're in a unique position. You're in a very unique position. There are so few of you who have seen none.
I know. Do I
that
want to
will
stay
have
there?
the ability to watch all 9 in story order.
I know what I want at the end.
Okay, what is it?
You can keep the BLT dip, the T-shirt, and the day off. I want the child.
Okay.
You deliver me the child.
All right. The real one or
The real one.
Oh, well,
or a darned yarn. They make little yarn ones. Those are cute
I'll have
too.
to talk to John Favreau about that. I don't know why I just played the Sesame Street theme, but it made me feel better. So we got to get to a break. Come back. Got plenty more. Got Chart Toppers, Point to Ponder, Pearl of Wisdom, and more coming up here on In the Know.
To Sesame Street. Crawl and play, everything's A-OK.
The late Louis Zamperini was an overcomer. You might remember his story from Unbroken, the book and movie based on his life. Louis was nearly killed during World War II when his bomber crashed into the Pacific Ocean. He survived but drifted helplessly for 47 days. Worst of all, when he was found, it was by the Japanese Navy, who held him prisoner until the end of the war and savagely beat and tortured him. Now, I haven't suffered like Louis, but I've had to overcome some things. My mom died when I was 9 years old. My stepdad abandoned me and my siblings within hours of her funeral. A few years later, my biological father died of alcoholism, and I spent time in foster care. I don't know your story, but I know you've had to overcome difficulties too. We all suffer, and the question we face is the same. How do I overcome this? And there are no easy answers, but I believe two things are certain. It will require determination and some support from those around you. Life is tough, and we forget that sometimes when life is rolling along so smoothly. Then suffering comes along and reminds us of just how tough we have to be to survive. And yet, even the strongest among us can't overcome everything on our own. Sooner or later, we each face a challenge that's beyond us, and we need the strength of others to make it through. For more to help you thrive, visit FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
Wash your hands, stay home, cover your cough. It's our new reality with COVID-19. The anxiety can be overwhelming. If you're feeling extra worried, you're not alone. You can still contact a mental health professional. They're ready to help you get through this. And remember, prepare, focus on the essentials. Protect, keep some space from people outside your home, and disinfect a lot. Get the facts at kycovid19.ky.gov. Prepare, protect, disinfect.
The federal government provides $150 billion a year to make higher education possible for anyone. Completing the free application for federal student aid, known as the FAFSA, is the first step to getting your share. But an estimated $40 million in financial aid is left on the table each year by Kentucky students. Don't let that happen to you.
Fill out the new and improved FAFSA today. Visit knowhowtogoky.org and join the conversation on Twitter, #KnowHowToPayKY. This message is brought to you by the Pritchard Committee Student Voice Team and the Council on Post-Secondary Education.
Your friends at Kentucky 811 want you to know that due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we are experiencing very long hold times when you call 811. Avoid the wait and click before you dig. 811now.com is the faster way to submit an 811 request. Simply visit 811now.com, fill in the online form, and wait 2 full business days for your utilities to be located. Know what's below before you dig. This message brought to you by Kentucky 811.
MB's Point to Ponder for today. Will Misty ever watch the Star Wars Skywalker saga?
You bring me the
That's
child,
my point
yes,
to
she will.
ponder.
It doesn't have to be a real one. I just want like a stuffed one. It's so cute.
We did discover during the break that it may be systemic in your old motorcycle gang.
Oh, I do have a motorcycle. Adam, I don't know if Adam was watching yesterday, but Adam was part of the scooter gang. Adam, we are the reason there were laws made about children riding scooters on the streets and helmet laws. I'm pretty for sure.
Pumpkin Center's Angels.
Yeah.
Did you all have a patch for your leather jackets for that?
Yeah, we did actually.
Yep. Okay. Well, that may explain.
We had a lot. We had a secret handshake and everything.
You all were busy running the roads.
Yeah.
Cruising the galaxy on your land speeders.
I just have a question.
That you didn't need to see Star Wars.
For you.
For me?
Because
Okay.
I think the common denominator here is Caneyville didn't pick up anything but Channel 13 and 3. So in 11, by the time we got to the late 80s, how did you, Caneyville boy, end up watching Star Wars? Like,
Well-
what kind of witchcraft was that you were able to watch?
Great granddad Cuthbert, who was the Lord Mayor of London. He bequeathed me some movie tickets that I was able to redeem.
Adam, we have
All
a
right,
privilege.
Pinocchio.
yeah, right.
Sounds pretty good. I don't know.
Try again.
I don't know.
Adam and I didn't have Lord Cuthbert giving us
That's right. It was
tickets. I'm like, I'm thinking it was a Caneyville thing.
Great
Star Wars didn't
granddaddy
come on.
Cuthbert, and he sent me some.
Our scooters never took us to the movie palace.
So you couldn't make it any further than Millwood.
Millwood was
you
the
couldn't make it
furthest
to
we
the
ever
drive-in.
went.
I got it. I got it. I got it. All right.
Well, it's like a spree, like, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Let's see. Today's. Oh, what's on TV tonight? Nothing that's really all that interesting.
For BLT dip, I know what's on mine.
You might as well watch Disney Plus. The Masked Singer is on Fox. Last but not least, Group C kickoff. And that's really about.
So, can you have a masked singer in a pandemic where now you have to wear a mask? So, shouldn't they come out with the unmasked singer? Won't it be the opposite when less people are walking around without a mask?
Hey, by the way,
Change the
before
structure.
I do Today in History, it's been a rough week for announcers. The guy who's on The Price is Right is recovering from being out of away from the show, and Judge Judy's announcer passed away this week.
Oh, wow.
The guy
So
that
sad.
says, and now, it's sad. I didn't get to that yesterday. Today's highlight in history, this day, 1967, heavyweight boxing champion Muhammad Ali was stripped of his title after he refused to be inducted into the armed forces. Mama called him Clay.
I got you do it.
waiting. Right.
I'm gonna call him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay.
I was letting you have the line. Who next? In 1788, Maryland became the seventh state to ratify the Constitution of the United States.
That boy's good.
He beat your laws.
Sex
In
chocolate.
1980, President Jimmy Carter accepted the resignation of Secretary of State Cyrus Vance. In 1986, the Soviet Union informed the world of the nuclear disaster at Chernobyl.
Good girls at church.
If you've never seen Coming to America, you've not lived.
You will never understand our show.
So now that you're
you
stuck at
can't
home,
decode
look it
our
up
language if you've never
and
seen
watch
Coming
it.
to America.
Yeah.
And Margaret is 79 today. Former Tonight Show host Jay Leno is 70. Bridget Moynihan is 49. Penelope Cruz is 46. The Property Brothers are 42 today. Jessica Alba is 39.
Jay Leno is 70?
Jay Leno is 70 today.
Oh.
Lionel Barrymore was born this date in 1878. Oscar Schindler in 1908. Ferruccio Lamborghini was born this date in 1916. Harper Lee, born this date in 1926.
Kill a Mockingbird.
Bruno Kirby, born this date in 1949. So Bruno Kirby was in City Slickers, When Harry Met Sally. He played the opposite Robin Williams in Good Morning Vietnam. He was the stickler for how everything had to be done on the radio station in Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah.
I didn't like that character. It's kind of like I didn't like pig vomit in Private Parts.
I never watched Private Parts because I just couldn't get
Nor
past
did I.
it. I didn't never like any of it.
What else do I need to tell you
Or
about?
appealed to any part of me.
Vomit?
That was the character's name. I was never a huge Howard Stern fan. I tried for years to listen, but
No, yeah, it's hard to listen to. But the movie is pretty good because it's a pretty good radio story, a pretty good broadcasting story. But and now I can't. Paul Giamatti. Paul Giamatti is a great actor. He's who played Pig Vomit in the story. All right, so Governor Beshear has asked that we ring the bells and help those in isolation during the pandemic. So we will feature today again. Here is my old Kentucky home from the University of Kentucky Marching Band. Quick reminder that your next Grayson County COVID-19 briefing will be at 3:30 this afternoon across all of our channels. And then we'll have Governor Beshear after the 4 o'clock news today, also on K105 and 103.9 The Moose. We handled Today in History. We did birthdays. We did chart toppers. No, we didn't do chart toppers. Let's do chart toppers. 1958. David Seville was number one.
And then the witch doctor, he told me what to do. He said that.
Can anyone translate that?
I had this album as a child and loved it.
Yes?
Yeah, the record. Like
Okay.
we played it on the record
Do
player.
you know how to translate it then?
I could. But at 7, or 8, about 8, you lose your ability to.
Oh, I see.
When you go into the biker gang, you let go of childish things.
So one of these days you're going to have to tell us some of the initiation rituals to get into your motorcycle gang from when you were a kid.
You gotta be careful.
Statute of limitations.
First
is
rule of Fight
right.
Club is you don't talk about Fight Club.
Tommy James and the Shondells, number one. This date in 1967.
Who redid this in the 80s? That Tiffany?
Tiffany.
Yeah, I like that version better.
Me too.
Or was it Debbie Gibson? No, it was Tiffany.
Tiffany, yeah.
But I'll never ever hear that song again and not think of Robert De Niro in Cape Fear. When he comes in, I think we're alone now.
Oh, well, thanks for branding that in the hot world.
De Niro ruined it for me.
You could have kept it to yourself.
No, can't do it. Gotta tell it. 1976, the Brothers Bellamy. And Let Your Love Flow.
So let that feeling grab you deep inside and send you reeling
Let's get to the chorus. You want
through the moonlit nights with your love. Just let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show, and you'll know what I mean. It's the season.
Did Nancy Pelosi hire someone to coordinate her masks with her attire?
I hope so. I love it. I mean,
Right.
I really do. I mean, I kind of
if you're gonna do
If you're
it,
going to do it, do it
Spurring
right.
the economy by hiring a mask coordinator. We are the world. 1985.
I'm not going to sink my teeth into.
Must come together as one.
So I watched the Kenny Rogers biography last week.
People dying.
He had a great story about this. Here he comes.
To life, the greatest gift of all.
Sing it, Kenny.
We can't go on pretending day by day that somewhere will soon make a change.
James Ingram, right? All right, so Kenny Rogers said everyone was scrambling when they put this song together and they decided the order on who was going to sing. No one wanted to go after Ray Charles. Everybody was scrambling to get ahead of Ray. Because when Ray Charles takes off and he's like, he just finished the rest of the song.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah, people die.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to follow that either.
You and me.
It'd just be like,
absolutely, I wouldn't want to
the
do
end.
that. Let's go to 1994. This song is awful.
I've always hated this song.
I
love it. This shows you that she's a different generation. My friend Brad loved this song. I was
Crash
like,
Test Dummies.
But I like alternative. So.
Number one in 94. 2003, Justin Timberlake, Rock Your Body, and We Are Young. Fun featuring Janelle Monáe 8 years ago today. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today is never believe that a few caring people can't change the world. Indeed, that's all who ever have. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Misty Thomas, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powered by Heritage Media of Kentucky, WKHG Litchfield, Kentucky, USA. 104.9 FM, the Twin Lakes Best Mix, K105. Your news starts now.